Good morning again. Now we're on to the last unit, the last section, 10.3. Solve each system by graphing. Here's a hint as well. You can use Desmos graphing calculator on these as well. Just make sure you are selecting the inequalities to use when you graph when using Desmos graphing calculator. So you can always verify your answers doing that. I'm going to do some of these by hand. Starting with number 1, okay? Y is less than 2x plus 2, y is less than negative 2. So let's graph the top one. Again, notice it's in this form, which will kind of make it really easy to graph. Y-intercept at 2, and my slope is 2 over 1, so go up 2 over 1. Now here's where you need to be careful. I do not have an equal sign here, so my line has to be dotted. So I'm going to make a dotted line all the way through. Okay, and since my line is less than, I'm going to shade everything below the line. Okay, less than, shading everything below the line. The next graph is another line, y less than negative 2. So I go on the y-axis, find negative 2, put a dot at negative 2, and notice again it's going to be another dotted line because there's no equal sign. So here's a dotted line, and make it go this direction as well. And I'm going to shade everything below that line. Where the two lines intersect, which is down here, okay, way down here, this area is my solution set, so everything in that section would be good. Okay, going on to number 3. Graphing the first one. So if you were to, if I go back, if I label these A and B, just a little side note. This is part A, way up here. Everything's part A. Okay, and then part B is everything down below. Kind of get not that you can see the B there. And this is neither one. Neither. That whole area over here where there's no shading going on, that's neither. So that's not a solution for either equation. This section would be just for A. This section way over here would be B only, A only. And down here where they both intersect, obviously we would call that both. Okay, so you can barely pick it up there in the green. But that's kind of what you might have 4 sections on your graph. Alright, number 3. So we'll try and do that with number 3. So the top one we'll call it A, the bottom one we'll call it B. So first of all, plot the y-intercept at negative 2. And then rise over run. Since it's negative, I'm going to go down 2, run over 3, 1, 2, 3, put a dot there. Now I look at the inequality sign, no equal sign, so again it has to be dotted. So I'll do my best to make it dotted for you. And notice y is greater than this time, so I'm going to shade everything above. So all this section would be for A. This down here would be not for A. The second equation, y-intercept at 4, then slope negative 8 over 3, so drop down negative 8, and then run over 3. Now there's this dot right there again. And notice again it is a dotted line, so my best dotted line I can make. And then I'm going to shade everything above that line. So notice the line goes here. It's slanted just a little bit. So I'm going to shade everything on this side of it. Okay, so it looks like my solution set is everything over here. Okay, everything on this side is my solution set. So keep that in mind. So nothing over here. So no solutions here. This part was my A only, and down this little piece down here would be like B only, this little section down here, and then all of this would be both of them. So we both have intersections there. Again, if you did this on Desmos, you'll see that right away. It will shade for you. It will give you the dotted lines. It may even give you some solid lines, since we're going to do that in number 5. Okay, question number 5, I have equal signs in both of these, which means I'm going to be using a solid line, not dotted. But I can use the same graphing techniques, shading above or below. This one I'm going to shade above since it's equals, greater than here. This one I'm going to shade below because it's less than. So think greater than above, less than below. So here's A, here's B. So first one, plot a dot at 3, that's my y-intercept. Rise over run is up 1 and over 3, so up 1, 1, 2, 3 over. Put a dot right there. Now it's a nice solid line, because anything on the line would be a solution, and it's greater than that, so I'm going to shade everything above that line. Okay, everything above the line. There you go. Part B, y-intercept is -2. Slope up 2 over 1. There's my other dot. Again, a solid line, so I can just kind of keep that going up through there, bring it down, and I'm shading everything below that line. So they intersect at a little small piece at the very top. So this right here is where they cross. So this section right in there, okay, everything right in that area would be the solution to both of them. Again, this is neither, right smack dab in the middle. You have a section that doesn't work at all. The top part was A. Okay, so anything for A would work there. B, anything for B would be down here. And then this is the area for both. And this is what we're looking for. So if you had a point in this section, it would work for both of them. If you had a point down here, it would only work for B. A point in this area would only work for A. And if you selected like 0, 0, it wouldn't work for either one of them. Okay, that's what those sections mean. It's important that you understand those points. Okay. All right, and the very last one we'll do number 7. All right, this is in this form. I don't like this form, so I'm going to add 2x to both sides, so I can get rid of that. I want to move it over so it's a little easier to graph. So now I'm looking at just y greater than or equal to -4 plus 2x. So plot at -4, put my y-intercept at -4, and then rise up. This will be 2, so I'm going to make it into a fraction, 2 over 1. Rise up 2, go over 1, put a dot. Now let's look at the inequality. Greater than or equal to, that means it's going to be a solid line. And since it's greater than, I'm going to shade everything above that line. There we go. So that would be for A only. If I lettered them again, the top one is A, the bottom one will be B. Alright, the next graph, x greater than 1. So I find the x-axis, find 1, put a dot there. Now this line is a vertical line. It is dotted. So I'm going to do my best to make a dotted line. So anything on that dotted line would not work. And all the x values greater than 1, which means everything to the right. And notice my intersection point with both of them is this little triangle here as it gets bigger and bigger. So everything in this section would work. Anything on this line would also work, but anything on the dotted line would not work. But the whole section, there's a lot of solutions here. Notice none down here. Okay, this area is not shaded, and this section down here would be B only. Okay, solutions for B. And then this big area over here would work just for A only. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're graphing. You're going to have a lot of graphs that'll have all 4 sections on there. Some might only have 2, some might have 3. But every time you have 4, you get these 4 sections where both of them work here, where they're both shaded, B only, A only, and then none down here. There's nothing shaded in that section. Okay, Good luck. Again, use decimals to help you out. It'll help you graph quite a bit. If you forgot how to graph using y=mx plus b form, again, use Desmos graphing calculator. Good luck. Double check your work for the evens on this side, and you should be great. Again, answer key is always on the next sheet that follows.